In this video, I'm going to be doing the impossible. I'll be attempting to figure out the best move of every single character in Tekken 8. Let's be honest, this is no easy task in any game, let alone in Tekken, the one game that's renowned for each character having hundreds of moves. This is naturally going to be incredibly difficult, and of course it goes without saying, this will only be my opinion. While you could probably argue some characters might have an objectively best move, this is a very rare case. Pretty much every person you ask is going to have a totally different opinion, and that's the beauty of fighting games. I'd be very interested to hear why you guys agree or disagree with my picks in the comments below, and what you think your main's best moves are, so feel free to let me know. By the way, I'll be excluding heat smashes and heat bursts for this video. That'll have its own video coming soon. Besides that, every other type of move is on the table. Remember to like and subscribe if you're new, don't take this list too seriously, and let's get into it, starting with the Mishimas. So, starting out with Jin and just all the other Mishimas in general, I think it's important to note that the best move on all of these characters is probably the electric. This is pretty much one of the best moves in the game. Obviously, you know all about it. If you're watching this video, you know exactly why the electric is so good. +5 on block, full launcher, very fast to come out, one of the best moves in the game. But just to make this more interesting, I'm going to be coming up with one move for each Mishima that's not the electric, because it'll be pretty boring if they're all just the same answer. With that being said, Jin's best move besides his electric is, in my opinion, pretty clearly his forward 4. This is just one of the best moves in the game, in my opinion. It does pretty much everything. Very long range, amazing for keep out, fully safe on block, now a full launcher that's easy to do. In Tekken 7, doing the full combo out of this where you just dash up was incredibly difficult. Not anymore, now it's very consistent. It's amazing for keep out, the range is deceptively long. It's such a core move in Jin's kit. You can't have Jin without his forward 4. Now, what else can you do with this move? You can go into stance for more mix-ups. When they start blocking it, you can pressure with an electric, you can go into Zen, look for an evasive move like the Samsara, look for a low, look for a power crush heat engager. He just has so many cool options out of this move. As a Jin player, I have to say, Jin's best move besides his electric is his forward 4. Kazuya's best move, besides of course the electric, is, in my opinion, the Devil Fist. This move completely changed Kazuya. It changed everything about him. It gave him a well-needed neutral and made him a lot more streamlined and also a lot better. This move serves as the best demon paw out of all the Mishimas in my opinion, having very good range and being almost impossible to sidestep while he's in heat. Oh yeah, and it's a heat engager, just like all the other demon paws, but also does double damage while in heat. What more do you want from a move? You can heat dash out of it for a full combo, just like all the others. Very good range, very quick to come out. This move is just amazing for Kazuya. I think it's pretty clearly his best move, besides the electric. Going back to Tekken 7 without this move is really difficult. How did we play Kazuya before having this move? It's just so nice to have. Reina's best move, besides the electric of course, is, in my opinion, still her Raiden, her forward 2. This move is really strong. Now, did it get nerfed? Sure. It's lost its tracking, but to be honest, a move like this never had any right tracking. Insanely quick, neutral dominating move, guaranteed follow-up that gives you a heat engager, which you can heat dash out of for like 55 damage, and then they block it and you start doing your mix-ups. Big plus on block move, plus on block high that's unsafe, safe mid, or you can opt to go into another stance. She just has so many options out of this move. I think anyone who's played Reina before can agree that this move makes the character. It's really not Reina without this move. Honorable mention does go to her very strong down forward 1, one of the best in the game if you ask me, and her 3+4 string extension in heat. This is one of the best strings in the game for sure. I just think Raiden has them slightly beat. Devil Jin's best move, besides the electric of course, is his down back 1+2 charge attack. This move has progressed a lot as the game's gone on. At first, people would charge it fully, for the guard break which gives a guaranteed 1+2, or major damage if they take the hit, but then people started realizing, if you only do the half charge version, you get ridiculous plus rings at the wall. This is unironically one of the best wall pressure moves in the game, and for some reason, a bad character like Devil Jin just has it. You can also cancel this to go into stance for big pressure, you can use your steel pedal option, you can use your 1 for big damage, or if you're in heat, you can cancel it into your unbreakable throw heat smash. This move is just so great for him. It's one of the few things I think that actually stops him from being a really bad character. And that's why I think it's his best move. Paul's a tricky one. Historically, his best move has always been his incredibly strong down forward 2. This move just makes Paul. It's at the corner of his keep out and his whole game plan. It's a really, really great move. However, here in Tekken 8, he's gotten a couple new really good contenders. Most recently, his new charged up forward 1+2, giving him way more plus frames and giving him a full launch on counter hit and while in heat. This move is ridiculously strong and serves to make Paul better at what he was already amazing at. I'm not gonna lie, this is a really hard one, but I think if I had to pick, it would be his new forward 1+2. This move just works so well for his kits. But if you want to argue that it is his down forward 2, I would absolutely agree with you. I have to pick one. We knew this list was gonna get hard at some point. Who are we kidding ourselves? It's Sneak 4. This is pretty much universally agreed as one of the best moves in the game, and Dragunov's best move currently. It just does everything. Unbelievable plus frames, heat engager, hits grounded for some reason, very good range. No move should have all of these qualities. Full launcher and heat, by the way. You can dash out of it. Like, what is this move? I'm really hoping this move gets toned down in the next patch. King's best move is either his down forward 2-1, being one of the only fast counter hit launching strings in the game, or his new forward forward neutral 2, being one of, if not the best low in this game. King has a lot of good moves, so picking this is going to be hard. And also, big honorable mention goes to his giant swing, which is the best grab in the game. If I had to pick one, I think I'd pick his down forward 2-1. This move just works so well for him in this game. Counter hits have never been stronger, and having an option like this is so good for King. If you wanted to argue it is giant swing, I would probably agree with that too. This was another tricky one. Victor's best move is probably his 1+2. This is one of the best counter hit launchers in the game. It has good range, it's incredibly fast, and it leads into Victor's new signature damage ever since they gave him the new stances. He can get you to the wall from pretty much anywhere. This move just works so well with his stance pressure. Honorable mention definitely goes to his forward forward 2. This move is still very strong. Leroy's best move is either his back 3, which since the buffs has become super ridiculous, guaranteeing a heat engager on normal hit, being insanely plus on block, and being a tracking move. It just does so much. It's either that or his down back 3. Now, his down back 3 is honestly one of the best lows in the game. It's incredibly evasive, takes him into stance, and on counter hit guarantees his heat engager. Picking between these two moves was tough, but I think I'm going to give it to back 3, just because it has a little bit more all-around application compared to the low. It's very close though. Sorry to quickly interrupt this video, but if you guys are enjoying this and want to see more scripted Tekken 8 content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. It's a really big help and helps me fight against the YouTube algorithm. It only takes a few seconds and it goes a really long way in helping me move towards my dream of hopefully doing this as a job one day. Thank you guys so much, and let's get back to the video. Kuma and Panda's best move is probably their back 1+2. This is a very strong heat engager, with good range that tracks and is only -8 on block. A lot of people think this is duckable, but no, it's actually a high mid string. It's a very good heat engager. Unfortunately for Panda though, if I had to pick one move for each character, Kuma's would probably be the electric. I mean, this move was designed to be broken, and Kuma's the only character in the game who gets a special mid electric. Combine this with having the highest combo damage in the game, and this is a pretty damn good move. Don't sleep on the bear electric. Claudio's best move has historically probably always been his back 1. I mean, this move just does everything. But new to this game, I think I'm going to give it to his down back 1+2. This is basically one of the best moves in the game. It's a very long range DP that fully launches, is safe on block, and leaves him at an amazing distance away from his opponent. This move just does everything. Thank God it's only limited to heat, or Claudio would be way more frustrating to fight against. It's Flash. Let's not kid ourselves. We all know it's Flash. This move is honestly in contention for one of the best moves in the game. It's just way too overpowered in this game. No character with this many tools that does this much damage should have access to a counter like this, but Yoshimitsu does. Alyssa's a tricky one, as this is one of those characters who just has so many great moves. Some people say it's her forward 2, which is one of the best mid pokes in the game, with an extension for a heat engager that takes her into chainsaw stance. Some people say it's her down 4, a very good low poke. People have said it's up 2, one of the best heat engagers in the game if you ask me. There's just so many possibilities for this character. But is it a cheat answer just to say her chainsaw stance? I mean, it counts as a move on the move list, so I'm just gonna say her chainsaw stance. More specifically, it would probably be her Hell Sweep. It just annoys me to no end that she has a Hell Sweep in this game. She didn't need this. June's best move is pretty clearly her forward 2. This is the best whiff punishing tool in the game. Has amazing range, leads into her big combos, you can cancel it into a fully safe heat engager where the opponent literally can't do anything, and when you're in heat, you can twitch confirm this with a heat dash for a full combo. It's an amazing move. No character should have a string like this. Law's 111 is the best jab string in the game if you ask me. It's the only one where if you heat dash out of it while in heat, you can get a full combo. For literally every other character, when you hit this, all you get is an extension. But on Law, nope, you get a full combo. Why is this a thing? Who knows? But it makes him the only character in the game who, while in heat, can hit you with a jab, react to the counter hit sound, and then launch you for it. No character should have this much privilege. Now, the answer most people are going to think for Lars is going to be his forward 3-3, his new Dragon Lash, which this move's already been buffed and everyone's talked about how annoying it is to deal with. It's really great. Plus on block, transitions into his other heat engager, and it forces your opponent to guess unless they're amazing at fuzzy guarding. It's a great move. Personally, I think Lars has a lot of other tools that people really don't talk about. Like for example, his 2-1. This is one of the best 10-frame punishers in the game, and I don't see anyone talking about it. And part of me wants to give it to that move. But no, we'll stay safe for Lars today, and we'll say his best move is his forward 3-3. You could definitely change my mind though. Xiaoyu is the hardest character to talk about in this list. This is because her character revolves around just having so many different moves throughout all of her stances and various other options. There's so many stuff we could talk about. Her AOP 1, her down forward 1, down back 2, full crouch 4, and 1,000 other moves that I don't understand. To make my life easier, I'm just gonna say down 1+2, her AOP stance. This makes the character, and I'm not even close to understanding it yet. I tried my best, okay? Back has a lot of great fundamental moves, but if you ask me, the one that stands above all the others is his completely unique down back 1. This is one of the best low pokes in the game, and is the centerpiece of his game plan in Tekken 8. Really great move. Nina is a character who's similar to Xiaoyu, where she has so many moves to function and doesn't really just have one that's better than the others. I've heard people say it's her sidestep 1, her back 2-2, her down forward 3-2. There's a lot of options for this character. If I had to pick, I'd probably pick her sidestep 1, just because of how important this is for starting her pressure in this game. I could definitely be wrong about this one though. All the Asuka mains tell me that her best move is probably her while running 1+2. It just does so much for her kit, especially the enhanced version. So I'm gonna believe them and say this is her best move. I think Lily's best move, just like Jin, is her forward 4. It functions basically the same, and actually has slightly better range. It's a full launcher on counter hit, and works so well for her more defensive playstyle. Truly an amazing move. Picking Hwoarang's best move is really difficult, and the Hwoarang community is gonna hate me no matter what I say. Previously, it probably would have been the down 3-4, but since the nerf, I don't know if I can actually say that anymore. This is another character who has so many good moves in all of his stances that picking one of the best ones is just really difficult. The safe answer I have here is his back 3. You know all about this move. It's one of the best whiff punishers in the game. Seriously, look at this range. It's a full launcher and leads to great damage. Obviously, like all whiff punishing tools like this, it's very unsafe, but you really shouldn't be letting your opponent block this move. When you reserve it only for whiff punishing, it's an incredibly strong move. I can't get over the range on this. Back 3, along with his just frame skyrocket, which I cannot do, are so good for the character and are probably his best moves. I've always thought Brian's best move is probably his quarter circle back 1. I mean, this move is just so great. +5 on block, very good range, quick to come out, and of course, a full counter hit launcher. It's basically like a Tekken 6 Jin Electric. But he has a lot of good moves like this. His 3+4 is incredibly broken, and of course his taunt. I mean, how do you even talk about a move like that? Sure, using it properly requires insane execution that I don't have, but in theory, taunt's one of the best moves in the game. It was hard enough, and then I get this great video I recommended about why his heat string is his best move apparently. There's so many options with Brian. The simplest one is just his quarter circle back 1, but it could be any of the ones I've said. Take this with a big grain of salt. Azusen is another difficult one. She has a lot of moves that are just pretty good, with no super overpowered moves, ever since her while running 3-2 was nerfed. Her best move these days is a coin toss between her back 3, a very good heat engager, her 1+2, which is an excellent counter hit launcher, her forward 1+2 being a very fast high heat engager, and of course her while standing 1. It's a toss-up between any of these. I'd probably say her 1+2. It's the same reason I said Victor's 1+2 was his best move. But you could make the argument for any of these. Don't get too angry. Raven's best move is his while standing 2. This is an incredibly strong counter hit launcher, and an excellent poke. Fangway is one that's pretty much impossible. I mean, he just has so many good moves, but they're all only good in the context of his kit. Like his back one, for example. One of the best moves in the game, but it only works so well because of the way his down forward one works. There's a lot of stuff like this for this character. I think if I had to pick one, I'd probably either give it to his back one or his Heat 3+4, but I could be very wrong here. Fangway is one of those characters where it's pretty much impossible to determine this accurately. I've asked a lot of Fangway players, and even they don't know what to say about this character. Steve's best move is of course his back one. We all know all about this move. It's one of the best and fastest counter hit launchers in the game. Steve players love this move, and it's pretty easy to see why. It's a very fun move to hit. Leo's a really hard one, as they're almost designed to not have one single great move. They're all just very strong. Back one is an option, down two, forward two, down forward two. Some people say Leo's best move is just jab. How are you supposed to choose with a character like this? Down back 2-4 is also a very strong whiff punisher. There's also down forward 2+3 being a very good low. The majority of people I've asked seem to say it's either down forward 2 or back 1, so I'd probably go with one of these two. Again, this is another character, I'm sorry to say, it's pretty much impossible to pick one specifically. Thank God no one plays this character, or I would get a lot more hate comments for not knowing. Shaheen just has so many great moves. Honestly, a lot of people will tell you Shaheen's best moves are his fundamental tools, and that could very well be true. I mean, his down forward one is amazing. So is his jab, and his down forward two. In terms of moves that stand out, there's a couple options. His while standing one is a really strong move, being a full counter hit launcher. Being one of the best counter hit moves in the game, you see this move used in pro play so incredibly often. It's very good. It could also be his slide, of course, still being very strong, or his new charge up move in heats, that guard breaks and launches on normal hits. There's a lot of things it could be with Shaheen. I think for now, for simplicity's sake, I'll say it's his while standing one or his down forward one, but I could be very wrong. Zafina's best move is her down 3. This low is just broken in my opinion. It gives way too many plus frames and takes her right into stance. One of the best lows in the game for sure. Lee has a lot of options here. A lot of players will say it's his back 3-3 because Lee players get away with murder when it comes to this move. There's also of course his while standing 2-3 being one of the best punishers in the game, especially now since the buffs where you can consistently heat burst out of it. It could be his back 4, one of the best counter hit moves in the game. It could be his forward 3 demon paw, his 1+2 which is a homing mid that's counter hit launches. There's so many options here. I think for simplicity's sake, I'd probably go with his back 3-3, but no matter what move I do, a lot of people are gonna get mad. So feel free to let me know in the comments what you think his best move is, because it's really close. Eddie's a weird one, and let's be real, no one really knows what this character does in this game. Some people will say it's his demon paw, but low-key, I don't think that move is actually very good. It might just be his 2-3 string that puts him into stance. This is a very good overall move. It could also be his forward 3 low, which puts him into stance, gives him good plus frames, and has decent range. It could probably be any of these. Lydia's best move is realistically her forward 2 or the while running 2 blue spark version. I mean, this is the basis of her kit. It does everything for her. However, if we're looking at her whole kit, it's probably the Heaven and Earth stance unblockable. I mean, no other character has anything like this. It's the fastest unblockable in the game, completely unreactable, and forces a guess every time she goes into the stance. It does really good damage too. Thank God it doesn't wall splat, or this move would be obscenely broken. And that's my list. Don't take this too seriously, it was more so just made for fun. Like I said earlier, everyone's gonna have a completely different opinion about what the best move of their main is, and that's the beauty of fighting games and opinions. In a game like Tekken, so many people can think so many different things, and it's really fun having conversations with people learning why they think what they do about their character. So I encourage you guys to have some discussions in the comments. I'll be down there of course chatting with you guys like I always do. And that's about all I've got for today. If you enjoyed the video and want to support me, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. It's a really big help. Also, as always, huge thanks to my YouTube members and Patreon patrons. Thank you guys so much for the support. I know my uploads have been very inconsistent. I've just had a major life change, but I'm planning on getting back in a more normal schedule very soon, including consistent streams here on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Take it easy.